Hello, so today we're going to be making this quick and easy little girl handbag. Alright, so some of the things that you'll need in order to make this is a scissor to cut the yarn, a needle, and a crochet hook. Now you guys can use any size crochet hook. The size that I'll be using is a H size 5mm. And then of course you're going to need two different type of yarn. Today I'm going to be using white and purple. And the type of yarn that I'll be using today is I'll be using the Red Heart Super Saver, size medium for weight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to begin, we're going to do a slip knot. Okay, so once you have your slip knot, we want to chain 26. Now once again, you guys can chain for as many chains as you guys want for the width of your bag, but I'm just going to do 26. Alright, so now that I'm done with my 26 chain, so for the next row, we're going to put in single crochet. So we want to skip the first stitch and into the second one. We're going to put in a first single crochet. And there's our first one. And our second. So go ahead and continue doing single crochet all the way until you get to the end of your chain. So go and continue doing single crochet until you get to the end. Okay, so now that I'm at the end of my single crochet, so for the last stitch, we're going to put in 6 single crochet into the last stitch. So there's go my first single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then with that, it's going to help us turn our work. Now we're going to put in 1 single crochet into the back of the single crochet that you guys have made. So go ahead and continue putting 1 single crochet into the back. And then go ahead and just continue doing that, and I'll meet you guys back at the end. Alright, now that I'm done, I'm at the end of my chain. Once again, we're at the beginning. We're going to put in 5 single crochet. Alright, and then we're going to slip stitch back into the first single stitch that we made. And there you have it for your first round. And you guys have something that looks like this. Now for round 2, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 to go up. And then we're going to put a double crochet back into the same stitch. So this is my first double crochet. And then for round 2, for every single stitch that you guys see, go ahead and put in a double crochet into every single stitch. And then go ahead and just continue doing that all the way around. Alright, so now that I'm at the end, you guys should have something that looks like this. Now at your corner, it's going to begin to fold itself up, which is perfectly fine. That is what it's supposed to do. And then from there, you're going to begin in your height. So I'm just going to slip stitch it together. Now we do want to go back and slip stitch in the first first double crochet. And then when you guys are done, you guys should have something that looks like this, where it's beginning to fold itself up. And that's what we want for our bag. Alright, so for round 3, what we're going to do is, once again, we're just going to chain 1 to go up. And then we're just going to double crochet back into that same stitch. And after that, go ahead and just put in 1 double crochet all the way around. Now for the rest of the bag, you're just going to repeat row 3, and then we're just going to chain 1 to go up and double crochet all the way around. And then once you guys get back to the beginning, chain 1 to go up and double crochet for as long as you guys want. Alright, so I am done with the length that I want for my bag. And then once you guys are done, you guys should have something that looks like this, and then it will fold open like that. And then that'll be it. Now I'm gonna cut my yarn, and then for the next part, we're gonna be doing the flap to go in front of the purse. Alright, sorry about that, you guys. I'm trying to adjust my camera. There we go. So once again, we are done with the body of the bag. Now we're gonna be making the front flap for the bag. So I'm just gonna get both of I'm just gonna tie on my yarn to the edge of the bag. Alright, so I'm just gonna just gonna tie on my yarn. Okay, and then now I'm just gonna work all the way across it by just doing double crochet. Now I like to work on top of my loose yarn so that later on I won't have to go back and sew it on. So once again, I'm just gonna do double crochet all the way across until I get to the other side. So go ahead and keep on double crocheting all the way across until you get to the other side, and then we're gonna stop right there. Alright, so now that I'm done with my first row for the flap, I'm going to chain 1 to go up, and I'm going to flip my work over, and then I'm just going to once again continue doing double crochet right across the back. So go ahead and continue doing your double crochet until you get all the way to the end of your row. Okay, so now that I'm done with my second row for the flap, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start off with my decreases. So I'm going to chain 1, flip my work over, and then for the first 2 stitch, I'm going to do decreases. Now how you do a decrease? Just like a regular double crochet. Okay, and now I have 3 loops around my hook, and I'm going to go through 2, and then I'm going to wrap my yarn around the hook and go into the second stitch. Now I have 4 loops, go through 2, and then go through 3, and that's how you do a decrease. And then after I'm done with my decrease, I'm just going to do regular double crochet all the way until I get back to the other side of my work. So now that I'm at the end of my work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my decrease again for the last 2 stitch. Alright, and then there's my decrease. I'm going to chain 1 to go up, and then once again we're just going to do another decrease. So for the rest of your rows, go ahead and just continue doing that. Once you begin, go ahead and do 2 decreases at the beginning and then 2 decreases at the end. And then if you keep on working, you're gonna begin to get like it's gonna begin to shape itself, and it's gonna begin to have that curve. Now, once again, you guys can do it for as long as you guys want. Now that I'm done with my front, I have did 2 regular rows, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of decreases off to the edge, and then I have 10 double crochet in front, and then I'm done with my flap. Now I'm gonna cut my yarn, and I'm gonna fasten it off, because that's all I'm gonna do for my flap. Okay. All right. So right now, since we're done with the flap, you want to grab your other color yarn, and now we're gonna add the ruffles into the front. So once again, this is going to be your front or your bag, and then I just turn it around to the back of my bag. And then I'm just going to put the yarn color right there to where it begins. So once again, I'm going to slip knot, and I'm going to tie on my other color yarn. And I'm going to chain on. Alright, so for the ruffles in front, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 4 double crochets into that first stitch. So this is my first double crochet, second, and you have your third, and your fourth. Okay, so now that we're going to be working on the side of it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 4 double crochets into every one of these side double crochet posts that you guys see. So once again, into the post itself, I'm just going to put in 4 double crochet. And then onto the next one, I'm just going to find my post, and I'm going to put in 4 more double crochet. So go ahead and continue doing that all the way until you get to the corner, and then I'll meet you guys back there. But go ahead and just put in 4 double crochet into every single post. Alright, so now that I'm done with that side, you're going to have something that begin to look like that. It's going to begin to ruffle up. And I'm going to put in my last 4 double crochets into the post. And then once you guys get to the top, just go ahead and put in 4 double crochet into every single stitch that you guys see. Okay, so go ahead and just continue working that all the way around until you get back to the other side. All the way around till you get to the other side. Alright, so now that I'm done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to flip my work over, and then I'm just going to put 1 single double crochet into every single stitch. So look at my first one, my second, third. So once again, go ahead and just put in 1 double crochet into every single stitch to increase the length of your ruffles. Alright, so now that I'm done with my ruffle, I have 2 rows of it, And you're gonna get something that looks very much like this, very ruffly. And then of course, just go back and sew in your loose strings. All right, and then layer on. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put in a button right here in the middle, layer on, so that we can just button it close. All right, so now we're gonna do the strap for your little handbag. Now for the strap, once again, you guys can make it as long as you guys want. Me, I'm gonna chain 100 for the strap because this little purse is gonna be for my daughter, and she likes to have stuff go over her shoulder. So we're gonna chain. So I'm gonna chain 100. Alright, so now that I'm done with my 100 chain, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip the first 2 stitch, and into the third one I'm gonna put in a double crochet. Okay, and then now go ahead and just put in 1 double crochet into every single stitch of your chain until you get back to the beginning. Alright, so now that I'm finished with my rows of double crochet, now it is very optional. You guys can just keep it like that and tie it onto your bag. But me, I like to put in 1 more color just so that it will match the ruffle itself. So I'm gonna do a slip knot, and I'm gonna tie on my my yarn onto my strap. So I'm just gonna slip through and tie it on. Okay, I'm gonna flip my work over, and now I'm just gonna do single crochet on top of the stitch. And then once again, I do like to work on top of my loose yarn, just so that later on I won't have to go back and sew it in. So once again, I'm just gonna do 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way back. Okay, so go ahead and continue doing that until you get all the way back to the beginning of your work. Well, to the end of your work, I'm sorry. Alright, so now that I'm at the end of my work, what I'm going to do for that 1 stitch is I'm going to put in 2 single crochet. So let's go my first one and my second one. I'm doing this so I can just turn my work, and then 2 single crochet into the next one. And then that will help me turn the work over so I won't have to cut off my string and reattach it. And then on the back, I'm just going to do, once again, 1 single crochet into every single stitch onto the back too. And I'm going to keep on working with that all the way until I get to the beginning of my work. Alright, so now that you're done with your strap, you should have something that looks like this. And then once you guys are done with it, all that you need to do is just use your needle and sew it onto your bag. So I did leave the longer string there so that when I do sew it on, I can just use those yarn to sew it on. But on the other side, I probably have to string another string. So once again, and you just find where you want to sew it on, and you sew it on, and then you have your strap onto your bag. Alright, and then when it's done, it's going to look something like this with the strap. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to put a button on my bag. So I just sew a button onto the other side of the flap, and then with the double crochet, because the holes are bigger, I'm just gonna put my button to go through the hole, just like that, so that it will just hold it close. And that's how I'm gonna sew on my button. And that is it for the little bag. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for watching.